Am on this beautiful Tuesday morning. Today, we are going to talk about prices, profits, and when expenses collide. To the HPLS podcast. Live, relevant, and high performance information, conversations, and education weekly. All right, so a few things this morning. I just posted. Now, I can't post to LinkedIn. Actually, you know what I'm going to do is maybe if I go to LinkedIn, the new notifications will tell me that I'm live. Actually, it says DJ is live. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to post this in DJ's live platform right here, y'all. Post that in DJ's live platform. So, oh, there we go. Look, I got the little paired thing because I'm in DJ's network. Now we know how it goes. Morning, brother. Morning, Jeff. So here's what's going to be on the agenda today. We had a guest in today, customer in today that unfortunately had to back out at the last minute, but he will be in next week. The main topic for today.
Hopefully all is well for Marty.
Oh yeah, no, he's good. It's just he had some fires at work. He's like, Dan, it's just, unfortunately 9 a.m. I mean, we're right in the heart of the fire.
It's kind of what the topic's about. So
that right? Exactly, brother. That's where I was going. Let me turn down this background. I don't know if y'all noticed, we got a little background music going today. So what we were going to talk about is price hikes. And, if you guys have been watching and listening to the Sales Chatter show, there's been a theme, a lot of customers, where it's like, what's your number one focus in 2022? And it's profit. This company, I'll get a little bit into it later. I really want to save the meat and potatoes for next week when he's on. He's had 4 price hikes to his customers this year in the last 12 months. And customers aren't liking it, but he says it's what we need as a corporation to be profitable. And it's funny because the article that I've posted up here for all of you, I believe it's a live show on LinkedIn as well. Yes, it is a live show on LinkedIn as well.
Yes, what's going on, Kyle?
And so, Kyle. Hey, Kyle's new. Kyle, welcome. So here's what we're talking about today is price hikes, sanitization of your customers to keep the ones that are profitable, and what it means to consumers. And kind of what brought this topic on was our guest that was going to be here who's had the 4 price hikes. And then this weekend, the Financial Post released an article.
Crazy. So
for all of you, you have Loblaws in Canada controls just over 33% of the groceries, and Frito-Lay and Loblaws had a dispute over pricing. So Frito-Lay actually pulled all product from all Loblaws stores. And I mean, Loblaws owns Shoppers Drug Mart, they own Value Marts, they are, they used, and in the article you'll read, they used to call it nuclear, right? You guys ever had that with a customer where you're like, you need to pay your bill or else we're going to stop shipping? Like the last thing you wanted to do was stop shipping for them because it was pretty much calling it
because then that's a
done deal,
away.
Right?
Yeah, that's it.
Well, it's done at that, right? At that point, you don't ship your customers goods. It's like, okay, screw you. I'm going to go find somewhere else.
Exactly.
But they're actually in the article, they're actually saying it's becoming the norm where companies are saying, if you don't give me the price increase, I'm just going to stop dealing with you. And I don't even remember back when we had Greg on, and then you remember back when we had John Brewer on, and then we start talking to all of these people, and there's 2 folds to it, right, DJ? And you and I were just talking. So, for example, at the grocery store this weekend, my average groceries is about $300. This week it was $417. I didn't buy anything abnormal that I normally buy. It's just everything seems to be going up, and it's like 20 cents here, $1 here, you know what I mean? And it's kind of, it just adds up. So I'm, for all of you, full transparency, I'm one of those flip app dudes where I do price matching all the time. 100%. And I mean, listen, I love grapes. I love raspberries. I love all blackberries, all that kind of stuff. And what used to be where on flip app, you can get them for like 99 cents a pound for grapes. It's like literally, if you're staring at a pile of grapes that's $3.99 a pound, it was $3.89 a pound. So it's like you get 10 cents a pound as opposed to $3 a pound off, right? So that that margin's narrowing as well. And then Loblaws in this article that you guys should have, they said something that started me going, interesting. They said, listen, our job is to try and protect prices for our customers. If we accept every increase, then what happens is we have to charge our customers more. And in the end, we pay for it. And so I appreciate that part of it, DJ. But there's a big thing happening this year that is unprecedented in any industry at any time, is the price hikes. Now, don't get me wrong, things are also happening in the industry, like if you read about it on the weekend, the Ace carrier that caught fire with 4,000 Bentleys, Porsche, Volkswagens, Volkswagen IDs.
Of course, they have to be really nice ass cars.
but also you think about it, right? So you look at that, then you look at what happened with Ford, right? When the transistor chip issue was at its height, Ford then they finally got 4 containers of transistors out of Japan. That carrier had something like 15 containers of transistors for all the major automotive companies in North America. It hit a chemical tanker. They both sank. So now then they get more transistors in. Ford loads 1,500 F-150s on a train. The train derails.
Yeah.
Right. So it's not just COVID. It's like all of these environmental issues, all of these kind of
perfect storm going on right now.
Yeah, like almost abnormal shit happening in our world that's just killing it left, right, and center. Like you think of all of that, right? It's crazy. So Kyle actually says, on the subject of price hikes, hopefully this isn't out of context. How are you guys balancing your accounts? For example, Del Monte is approximately 22% of my gross. We started local shipment to $350. Now I'm considering hiking to $500 a load. Sorry, Kyle, it's not. How are you guys calculating when the right time is to leave a customer, given how large the customer is? I don't want to lose them, but also don't want to be taken advantage of with 2019 pricing. So, Kyle, that is a remarkable question. Okay.
Yes. And thank you for that.
My answer is, when your price goes up, you have to raise your price to your customer. But here's the big thing when it comes to that is context. Like these conversations should have been had like a month or 2 ago. Like keeping your customers in the loop as to what's happening in your market. Yeah. Like when you surprise, I mean, 350 to 500, so we're sitting here and we're saying, okay, it's a local move, 350 to 500, it's $150. But $150 times 20, 30, 40 loads a week is going to add up really quick. That's where education comes in. That's where consistently sending your customer, in my opinion anyways, DJ, and let me know what yours is.
Yeah, I'm right on
you send your customer articles, you have conversations with them about price hikes. You say, hey, listen, I'm in the market today and there's a conversation. It's kind of like what the ocean carriers do, right? The ocean carriers will send out a statement of a GRI, general rate increase, and they'll say, okay, come March 1st, our GRI is this. And they do it at the middle of January, or they give you 6 or 8 weeks of playroom to say, hey, listen, FYI, it's coming. Now, you might not want to do that because you might be afraid they're going to just all of a sudden cut you off. I understand it. But if I could just say one more thing, DJ,
go ahead.
The thing is, if you need a price increase, so does your competition. Yeah. And if your competition comes in and does kind of the bait and switch thing, they're going to lose more credibility than you would lose by saying, hey, listen, I'm totally honest with you. This is, market pricing. Obviously at $350 that you're charging, you're not making a pile of money. You're not at the 50-60% margin, so you're going to be good. They're 22% of your gross business. That's for starters, and you're not here for a coaching session, but you got to get every customer to under 10% of your business, my friend, because if you lose 22% of your business, it's a huge hit, right? What's your thoughts, DJ?
No, I was going to say, I mean, you were right on the money. I think your man, if you guys didn't take Dan's advice there, set it up. So Kyle, with that customer, set it up. So start to lay the groundwork now. Hey, we're going to, obviously you're going to might have to eat it for a little bit, but set it up to where you can, it's going to give you an idea of how they're going to respond. And so you can then have that time to react instead of hitting them, right in the face with, hey, we got to go from 350 to 500. We got to do this now. So if you start to lay that information, lay that groundwork now, obviously it's the big key is your relationship with whoever you're working with over there.
And one thing also to take into consideration, Kyle, you're not the only one.
No,
they see it. Reference it back to what they see. You guys see the issues when you go and buy groceries. You guys see the issues when you go and put, fuel in your personal vehicle. You see all the costs increase. You see the cost of labor increases. Everything's gone up. So is trucking. Here's a good one also, Kyle. If you can, go back to 2019. That's a long time to not have a price increase. I understand contracts, but you should have clauses in there to increase prices annually. I would actually go back and I'd say, here's fuel in 2019. Here's fuel today. Here's the difference on this run. This is how much fuel is burnt. You're probably going to come to that $150 just on fuel based on 2019 to today. So if you want to use that context so they can see it, okay, you know what? It's a fair increase. Anything that puts it into the reference of fair, right? Because some people that you go to, because you have not had a price increase since 2019, they might think it's astronomical at $150 a load. But and so what I've always done is I've tried to build the back end to say here, 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 and here. It actually should be $300 more load. I got a really awesome pricing at $150. Definitely. Right? I hope that helps. Ryan says also, I think because Loblaws No Frills has President's Choice and they can tell Frito-Lay, Pepsi that they won't accept the price increase. I wonder if the next power move for Pepsi is to pull their drinks as well. Ryan, I agree with you. Here's what I believe. If they need a price increase on drinks and somebody won't give it to them, they'll pull it.
Yeah.
Because here's what I've always believed, okay, is that yes, we are here to help clients achieve a goal, but we're here to do it profitably. Exactly. And when I say profitably, I'm not talking 40, 50% margins, but I'm saying what is if it's 15% that you as a corporation want, then you need 15%. The guest we were going to have on today has raised prices 4 times in the last 12 months. And his first thing to me was, Dan, if the customers don't like it and we're not making money, we're getting rid of them. That's it. We've had how many customers on? 5 or 6 customers on this year already. Every one of them, my focus is profit this year. I'm going to raise my prices to my customers. If they don't want it, I'm not dealing with them. Yeah. Like us in shipping, right? We have customers in logistics where all of a sudden our margins go to 5, 11, 7, 9, 8, 4%. Yeah. We're actually better to get rid of them and find a customer we can bring in at 15%, free up our time to build our business as opposed to consuming our time for 4% margins. I did the same thing like decades ago when I had Dell Computer as a customer. Dell kept crunching the numbers. Well, actually, sorry, it wasn't Dell. It was every other broker coming in thinking, well, I can move these 6,000 loads a year at less because it's 6,000 loads a year and I'm going to go to market and I'm going to buy everybody out, not realizing how many headaches are involved with a $2.5 million load of computers, how much theft there is, how much, extra security you need, how you have to inform cargo cats in Miami when things are moving and you have people tailing you and you have to go to specific truck stops. And people come in and they don't understand the core nucleus of the business and what it really takes to run it in an effective manner. And they just come in and they shoot these stupid ass numbers out.
Well, everybody thinks a load is a load, and a load is not a load.
Exactly. And then they come in, like, the big boys of the world come in, and they say we could, and then so the price drops. And then all of a sudden they can't do it, so they go away. But the customer's like, well, but the price needs to stay. So it got to a point when I was a broker, I couldn't make margin. I actually gave it to the carrier that was doing it because I can't make margin on it because my company, and as much as that time in my life, I was like, you guys are fucking crazy. The lawyer from the company said, Dan, we're making $65 a load. Now we were doing like 70 loads a week. So I was like, yeah, but it's 70. He goes, but you don't understand. 70 loads a week at 2.5 million. He goes, one claim wipes out our profit for the entire year. We can't do it for less than $300 profit a load. Now, when I first started, I was making $600 or $700 a load. That's how much the prices got chipped away in about 2.5 years. Yeah. But at that point, it's like, why have the customer? If you have to run 70 loads, the anxiety and the stress of staying up at night make, really concerned. Because listen, we had, when I'm telling you this, brother, we had people paint their trucks black, pretend they were part of the company, go in, break people's femurs, hang security guards from the back of doors with shotguns. I'm not talking, when I say that theft was occurring, there was truck jackings on the side of the highways. With this stuff. I'm no joke. Our security guard, when when I was working for that asset-based company, our security guard got hung from a friggin' trailer door, his femur busted, and a shotgun put into his face because of this. Like, this is no joke. Like, no joke here when it comes to this stuff, right?
Holy cow.
So sorry, I apologize, my friends. You're gonna have to give me a couple minutes here, DJ. Can you handle this by yourself for a minute?
Yeah, all good, all good.
All right.
Kind of going into what Dan said, and I'll actually also touch on Kyle's comment here in a second. But so obviously, business is all about solving people's problems, but at a profit, like Paul Marsden said. And again, that's I think the battle we're facing and we're seeing right now is how do you make those both work? And that's kind of to Dan's point of you have a customer with lower margins and it's eating away at you. It's kind of what you see going on now with the big guys and with this situation you have with Frito-Lay. I mean, they're huge. And Loblaws is huge, like you mentioned, but they got to do what they got to do. Business doesn't stay open if there's not enough profits. And I can't throw up Kyle's message, but I will read it. He said he did send an email stating there was a potential price review in January that did not respond. Ooh. But it was sent. There is more to the balance. I have drop rights at Kroger DC, but it requires a minimum load count to keep the drop rights. It's just a lot to balance. Yeah, because Del Monte could drastically affect my other customers' lanes efficiency without the drop rights. Yeah. Again, this is Kyle. This is one of those situations. Kind of, you're almost in what it sounds like to me, like a Frito-Lay situation, and it's going to be just your relationship with your contact over there, and really trying to open that door and see, I guess, why they didn't respond. That's kind of crazy, but yeah, it is what it is.
What? Sorry.
No worries. I did read Kyle's thing. He sounds to be very similar, kind of a Frito-Lay. They didn't respond, so
this is the one that you're talking about. I did send an email stating that there was a potential price review in January. They did not respond. There's more to balance. Drop Kroger. Okay, so Kyle, here's what I'd like you to do. DM me, connect with me on LinkedIn. DM me, and I'll get with you for half hour, an hour, and I'll help you figure this out. Okay, perfect. So we'll do that. Ryan says you got to factor in your time over the customer. It should be a win-win for your customer and your team. Ryan, 1000%. So DJ, how many times have you as a salesperson thought it was good business until you realized how long it spent your team to service the account?
Oh gosh. I
think we've all done that.
Lots of, yeah. I mean, even before having an ops team, just doing it myself, I'm like, what am I doing? Mm-hmm. Like, I have these loads and I make X, and I don't have to do shit. And I have these loads and I make this, and I am like running all over the world to make this happen. What am I doing? And
okay, here's the lost opportunity cost, right? So it's not just a customer making X and a customer making X. It's this customer typically takes up 80% of your time that could be spent finding more customers like this.
Exactly.
Right. And I don't think we pay enough attention to that. It's like business. We're busy. Oh man, I was so busy. I mean, oh my God, I was so busy today. Okay, great. How much money did you make? How profitable were you? I made $500. Like, that's crazy. Okay. So you employed like 2 people, full salaries plus your salary, and you made $500.
Yeah.
Right. You know, it'd be interesting. And I think we've talked about this before. One of the companies I was at, the information, I had somebody from head office come in and I started asking questions, and they came up and it was $71 to process an invoice is what it costs corporately, like company wide, $71. Now, we were on a 30-70 split, which means that if you did not make a minimum of $100 an order, money was lost. But how many people will put $75? Like Kyle, for example. Kyle, we don't know you, but at $350, I'm thinking you're probably in that $50 to $75 profit margin range. Yeah. And if you're in that $50 to $75 profit margin range, you know, part of me starts thinking, and not that I want you to get rid of your customer, but part of me starts thinking, okay, if they're 22% of your order, if a customer that is 10% of your business, if you double that business with the customer at 20, at call it $150 an order, you just replace Del Monte and you don't have the hassle.
Yeah.
So something to think about, but
definitely a lot to dig in there. But yeah, I get
yeah,
what you're
I mean,
saying.
I think there's more than just what the half-hour conversation can hold on that
Oh
scenario,
yeah.
right?
So to Ryan's thing, I did have another quote I wanted to kind of throw out there because it went in line. So obviously we're talking profits, guys, but here's a way, and I think this is crucial. Happy employees lead to customers, which leads to more profits. Von
Mm-hmm.
Ost, and I think that's one thing we, again, the value, what we can bring as customer service can sometimes help justify those profits. And if you're lacking on that experience, that customer service, that added value, there's another way to help, I think.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. There is, and I'm also, my opinion, and it's just my opinion, guys.
Yeah.
Okay, is stay away from these big guys, the PepsiCos and all these people. And
I
the only
agree.
reason I say that is because
I
they
didn't want
have
to say that.
everybody and their brother looking for their business. So I'll give you a perfect example. I wanted Home Depot like so bad when I first started. I was like, I love building shit. I love Home Depot is like one of my favorite stores. That Princess Auto, Canadian Tire. Actually, I got a couple of favorite stores, but they all revolve around the same thing, building shit in like
Yeah.
electronics and mechanics. And so I wanted Home Depot. And I tried for 2.5 years to get into Home Depot. And it was like not happening. I mean, Canada Cartage in Canada has these guys locked up for specific areas of the business that I wanted and da-da-da. And I remember at one point reaching, I was in Home Depot and I saw grout and I was like, oh, and I turned the grout over and it was from Custom Building Products in New Jersey. And I'm like, oh my God, okay. So I called Custom Building Products in New Jersey. Terry was the guy that I dealt with. I was moving 25, 30 loads a week out of Jersey to the Home Depots, to like Anatolia Tile, to all these major corporations in Canada.
Yeah.
He would get one phone call a month from people soliciting his business. I had huge margins and I got all the freight I could want at that time in my career. And what I realized at that point was, holy crap. Like he's getting one call a month. Home Depot's getting like 50 calls a day. And that was back, 20 years ago. I don't even know, can't even imagine what they would be getting today. But it's like, this guy's getting one call a month. So my competition is one person a month I got to be better than.
Yeah.
Like, so for me, and this is just my sales plan is I try and go for I try and stay away from the major corporations. Sure, they're great to have on your portfolio, but as Kyle's experiencing, you need a price increase because your suppliers need it. The thing needs, they just don't get back to you. What are you going to do? I'm not moving your freight. Now you've lost 22% of your business.
Yeah.
To me, that's a challenge, right? Ryan says, I think it's important also to talk with your team, understand what it takes to be profitable before going after a customer. Don't want your team pounding out the phones for something they won't be paid commission on. Now, that's one point, Ryan. Not very many companies actually give operations commission.
No.
So it's a little bit of a different scenario where you are, because I know that the ops team is paid a percentage of what they book,
Which
and all
is
this
pretty
kind of stuff.
sweet, by the way.
It is very sweet. I mean, I know, I know certain companies do that, but the majority of companies don't. It's
No,
like,
they don't.
you're in operations, you get paid a salary.
Any place I've ever been at, they didn't. So.
Yeah, and in the majority of places I've been at, they don't. At the end of the year, they might get a bonus if the company does well, kind of thing.
Yeah,
but they're not paid commission. So it's especially if they're paid commission, because if they're paid commission and it's like 4,000 calls to get your $175 load booked as opposed to one call to get a $600 load book, it's going to take priority all day long. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
As much as somebody says, oh, I'm a company man. No, you're not. You're going to get the one booked where you get the highest percentage, and that's it. One of my best customers all around are the ones that people haven't heard of, 100%. And Ryan says that. He says, like, listen, best customers are the ones that people haven't heard of. Morning, John. Good stuff, guys. Thanks, brother. So, I guess in the end, I know we kind of veered off a little bit. I hope that helped for all of you that are watching and listening. But I truly believe now especially because there are so many people letting customers down. I honestly believe now is the time to sanitize your customer list. Sanitize who is profitable.
Yeah.
Like, and do yourself that favor. And you might take a little bit of a hit now, but for the end result, what's going to happen in a year from now or a year and a half from now, like we look at 2018 to 19, people thought they were rolling. I mean, I remember hearing people walking into their office going, yeah, man. And then like 2019, they're going, oh my God, how am I going to pay my mortgage? I don't understand. It's like the market does this. And
Always.
if a customer is hurting, which I think they all are. I mean, almost everyone we brought on the show says, yeah, this year it's about trying to make some profit, as opposed to last year we didn't make any. I think if customers are hurting when the market does turn and it becomes a customer market as opposed to a carrier market, for lack of a better term, and I don't want to sound like an asshole, but they're going to be out for blood. They're going to say, I want it cheaper. I want it cheaper. I want it cheaper, because they're going to want to make profit. It's the same thing that happened in 2018, 19. DJ, you know it. You were in the industry. You lived it.
Yeah.
Like customers were like, no, I'm going to pay you. I remember a student calling me saying, this customer wants to pay $900 to Chicago. I'm like, $900 to Chicago? Where did they get that rate? Somebody moved it for them 6 weeks ago. I said, so they moved one load. They moved 15 loads a week to Chicago. They moved one load 6 weeks ago, and that's the rate they want. He goes, yeah. What do I do? I go, what do you mean, what do we do? Don't take it. He goes, well, I took it. I go, why'd you take it? This is because I need the freight. I go, but like, you're not going to make $1. Or he goes, yeah, but I don't want to lose the customer. I'm like, oh my God, like, don't do that. You're just setting yourself up for that pain in the future
it's the pain. It's the
and
panic.
DJ, here is where a lot of people are going to say, but you could
say fear of loss. It's a fear of loss.
Yeah. But, and here's the thing is, a lot of people are going to say, you can do that. You could say that, like you have more business. You could say that, but I got more business because I said that. But again, I kept my customers educated to the T as to what was going on. Like before ELD hit, I was in customers' faces for 6 months saying, guys, I'm telling you right now, things are going to get hairy. They're going to get bad.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just what it is. What do we have? Oh, good morning, Lisa.
Hey, good morning, Lisa. Got another quote for us, and then got one to take us out. This quote I think you'll appreciate. So this is by David Hassel, and it's most people.
Hasselhoff or David Hassel?
Not Hasselhoff, not the Hoff. No,
not the Hoff. Don't mess with the Hoff, buddy.
Don't mess with the Hoff. But most people believe they need to choose either passion or profit. Choose both, and I agree.
That's a good way to lead us out of here, DJ. Oh, and there we go. My dogs are arguing. Have a good day, everybody.
I got a good one.
To the HPLS podcast. Live, relevant, and high performance information, conversations, and education weekly.